The Pixel embodies everything that Google envisions the perfect smartphone should be. But we don't blame you if you feel that there's a striking resemblance to a very direct competitor. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocket Now, and let's find out which one is better in our Google Pixel versus iPhone 7 comparison. Brought to you by Dbrand. Pocket Now's Google Pixel coverage is brought to you by Dbrand. To buy the best fitting skin for your phone or tablet, visit dbrand.com. If looks could kill, neither of these phones would win a beauty contest. The iPhone 7 has followed Apple's conservative design language, focused more on feel than in looks, and you could argue the same thing about the Pixel. Rounded curves and 2.5D glass give each of these devices a pebble-like appeal, and the obsession over thin and light contributes to a compact feel in the hand, even if neither is really a small phone. About the only way to tell them apart is by holding them, given the Pixel's rougher texture in the aluminum, which I actually preferred when compared to the slippery iPhone. In dimensions, the Pixel is taller, wider, thicker, and heavier than the iPhone. You could argue that the larger 5-inch display on the Pixel compensates for the added size, but if you were to subtract the navigation keys versus Apple's home button, I'd call this one a tie. What isn't similar are these displays. Google offers a more dense 1080p display with punchier color thanks to AMOLED technology, while Apple's P3-capable IPS panel is more in the realm of 720p. I'm personally more inclined to the deeper color on the Pixel, but you won't complain about the beauty or color accuracy on the iPhone. And another thing you're not going to complain about with the iPhone is consuming content thanks to these dual stereo speakers. They aren't just some of the loudest that we've tested this year, but also some of the most difficult to muffle while holding the phone. Continues to be one of the tiniest and most easily muffled. Paid for it. It was a huge letdown, but so has every single. Where the Pixel, by contrast, is probably the easiest one to muffle thanks to its inset design, but it's plenty loud if you just know how to hold it. You even wonder how Apple's legacy in design could allow a plus that's not even ergonomically enhanced. The spec battle would be a wasted time given the power efficiency of the iPhone. In the topics that matter, we have non-expandable storage options of 32 and 128 gigs on both, though the iPhone 7 could pony up to 256 for extra cash. The Pixel sports a larger battery in addition to some of the fastest charging capabilities in the market, but both devices are comparable in lasting through a day of mid to low use, not moderate or high. Where the iPhone swings back heavily is with its IP67 water and dust resistance, allowing for submersion up to 30 minutes under a meter of water, where you won't be able to do more than splash the Pixel with its IP53 rating. The topic of software is where things get really tricky. We won't sit and argue over iOS or Android being a better platform, but it would be fair to compare these based on their approach to convenience. iOS 10 has become a fan favorite thanks to the evolution of certain gimmicks into real features. 3D Touch has grown up to now include widgets for select applications, iMessage is now more playful thanks to its new enhancements, and the little things like Race to Wake in addition to a more streamlined UI with Apple Music are all welcome changes. Android 7.1 Nougat, on the other hand, has stirred more polarizing responses given the weird circular icons that lack consistency. Though in everything else, I will admit that I do love the denser grid of icons on the launcher, the more customizable notification shade, the more useful approach to split window multitasking, and why not, we've even got some sort of 3D touch here. Overall, you could say that Google does a far better job at taking advantage of high-density displays than Apple does. Google also argues that its new assistant is far more useful than Siri, but this is one of those arguments that's still hard to prove. You can call on both by simply having the phone on standby and calling Hey Siri or OK Google. Both respond to direct questions with either cards or web searches. Google Assistant claims that it has the advantage of being able to follow context of a conversation, which we do agree, it's actually very good at keeping track of what you say. The only problem is that it's always really just cumbersome to be saying OK Google for every single question you ask. So you could say that it really breaks the mold of how you would typically have a conversation with a human. Where I feel that Siri is more useful is in the fact that it has HomeKit integration, making it very simple to just say good morning and the lights turn on. Or third-party app integration where you can simply call in an Uber or send a tweet on your behalf. Google is still working with developers on allowing the assistant to be able to do that. But in a nutshell, from my personal preferences, I do prefer an assistant that's actually able to do things for me and not just answer questions with some cumbersome conversations. If anything, I would prefer Google's approach to Google Now, which is still here. But let's face it, on a day-to-day basis, it's really rare that I call on either assistant, which just proves that there is still more work to be done here. For everything else, I would say that the experience of using either phone is delightful. Both devices are perfectly sized in my opinion for one-handed use. They offer very snappy performance for gliding through menus and launching applications, and even though both devices are powerful enough for the most intense graphics-intensive games, the regular battery life won't really keep you playing for long. And then call quality and data speeds over AT&T and Project Fi were great in New York City, and callers on the other end couldn't really tell which phone I was using. A broader topic of comparison is how both devices approach the camera. On one hand, we've got Apple catching up to things like providing f1.8 aperture on the lens, optical image stabilization, and a 12-megapixel sensor. And by contrast, we've got Google, which wants to solve everything with software by having f2 aperture, electronic image stabilization, and the same pixel count. Now, if you would stack these photos side by side, it's really hard to declare a winner. Both devices shine in the day with great color saturation and contrast, and the trick in low light with the Pixel is just to have a steady hand, where the iPhone really shines more in avoiding grain compared to the Pixel if you weren't holding it right. The viewfinder on both cameras is extremely practical, even if I would prefer the Pixel's quick launch toggle over the power button. Stabilization on video is top-notch on both devices, and notice the Pixel doesn't have optical image stabilization. And really the other spot where I would give the Pixel an edge is on the selfie camera, mainly because, well, it's got a far better field of view than the iPhone. On the whole, declaring a winner of this comparison is definitely going to stir controversy. There is enough cult following on both platforms to make the end dramatic. What I will tell you is this. I feel that Google shot itself in the foot by pricing the Pixel at the same level of the iPhone 7 and even other flagships like the Galaxy S7. Don't get me wrong, the Pixel is a very good phone, but its specifications would have made it a great phone for last year's standards, not for 2016. Charging $650 and not matching the iPhone in stereo speakers and water resistant just really kills the Pixel for me. Yes, you could argue that the inclusion of the Google Assistant makes this phone compelling, but even there I would say that the Assistant still has more work to go. Maybe 2017 will be a stronger product that's worthy of driving iPhone users away from their platform. But from where I stand today, if this were my money, I'd pay for a device that delivers on everything that 2016 has to offer, and not something that was more baked for last year. Pocket Now's Google Pixel coverage is brought to you by Dbrand. Check out dbrand.com for unlimited customization on a real-time preview that even includes an old-school Google Nexus bag for your new Pixel. Dbrand skins are designed to add grip, texture, and protect your device from scratches. They ship worldwide, and Google Pixel skins start at just under $10. Follow the link in the description for more information. Folks, just like this, we've got more videos coming from Juan on the Google Pixel, so make sure you follow us on social media and hit that subscribe button down below for more videos like this one. You can also follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera, on Instagram at Jaime Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.